Now, 12 News has obtained the locations of 4,000 controversial guardrails along Arizona's roads. The guardrail end terminals, or they're called ET Plus, is the same type involved in a deadly I-17 crash back in February. That crash, if you'll remember, left one teenager dead and another without his right leg. These guardrails were the center of a class action lawsuit against the maker of the ET Plus. The attorneys in that case explain it was centered around a design flaw.
Instead of behaving as it should, it locks up and that guardrail then becomes a knife or a missile into the vehicle, right through the engine block, right into the passenger compartment, killing people or taking limbs.
Now, a spokesperson for Trinity Industries, the maker of the ET Plus, tells 12 News in a statement they stand by the ET Plus. And while Trinity didn't admit fault as part of the settlement agreement in the Missouri case, they did agree to find and replace all of the ET Pluses on Missouri roads. Joining me now for the backstory is 12 News journalist Colleen Sikora. Colleen, we know that you've been reporting on these guardrails for months now. Where exactly, can you tell us, are these ET Plus guardrails here in Arizona?
Well, the data that we obtained from ADOT shows that there are more than 4,000 of them on Arizona roads. And I mean, they're really everywhere. So, you know, I-10 through downtown, the 202 near downtown, as well as the 60, the 202 in Mesa, the 40 in Flagstaff, the 8 near Yuma. So they're really all over Arizona's roads. And even these 4,000 still remain there today, even though ADOT took them off of their approved products list 10 years ago.
Okay, so then given the history of these guardrails, what exactly is ADOT saying about why these are still on the roads?
You know, so the feds found after an investigation into the ET Plus that they meet all applicable safety criteria, but still critics say that they're not safe because of what you heard the attorney in that Missouri case explain a little bit earlier, that they don't do what they're supposed to do on the roads. And so an ADOT spokesperson says that they're finding and replacing these as they become damaged or as new construction comes through on the highways. And so that's the only way that these are getting replaced. And unfortunately, the data also doesn't show us how many have been replaced. So all we know is that there are 4,000 on the roads today.
So what are you working on later tonight at 10?
You know, so tonight we're talking with Jet, who's the survivor of that crash in February, as well as his attorney. You know, they're calling for accountability from the state. And so we're taking that to state leaders to ask about, you know, what could they do to address these 4,000 still on Arizona roads.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Colleen.